is also here. I thank him for his presence. Mr. Vinay, the Apartment Federation. I think Mr. Vinay is an important person here because from the 20 years of boom that we have seen in Bangalore, this is perhaps the fastest growing city in the world and definitely the fastest growing city in Asia. And to be the link for all the apartment owners is a huge responsibility.
I'm standing before you by representing the Bangalore Apartment Federation. Bangalore Apartment Federation is a largest association of apartments in Bengaluru, having about 1,270 apartments and about 3 lakh residences and 15 lakh citizens are part of this association, this federation. And I thank the organizer for organizing this event, and also my due regards to the dignitaries on the stage and elderly person and participants here. When we talk about apartment law, it has a very huge, doesn't restrict only to the apartment law what we talk about management and maintenance of the association. It goes beyond that, which includes in terms of the BESCOM, pollution control boards, electricity, income tax, GST, Revenue Act. All those things are also part of your apartment law as a bigger aspects of it. When we think about the apartment, the government responsibilities are now transferred to the committee or a group housing project. It was a responsibility of a government to manage the road, electricity, water treatment or the garbage collection and the processing of it. Now the concept of that is now transferred entirely to the apartment owners. The collective of apartment owners are now engaging the management committee or office bearers, and it's the responsibility of those office bearers to manage and maintain it. When we say this to when we say this to happen, we should have a stronger law which related to the management and maintenance of the apartment. That is what is very important aspect for us to understand about the apartment law. Why apartment law? Okay, so that is a fundamental aspect, and it's unfortunate that in spite of 50 years of 1972 Apartment Ownership Act was drafted and enacted, there is no competent authority for that to regulate it. Even though government has notified the competent authority as the cooperative society, Register of Cooperative Society, however, Register of Cooperative Societies are accepting the deed of declaration and the Form B on registration of your apartment ownership under Apartment Ownership Act. However, when we contacted them, there is no regulations and there is no specific direction from the government for the going forward. So this is one thing which we should remember. And we all know that RERA has enacted in 2016 and implemented from 2017, very transformative law for the real estate industry. Even though we call real estate is the second largest next to the agriculture, or probably second largest in terms of the employment or the revenue generation. However, we did not add a regulator to regulate this industry over 7 decades. That's a very unfortunate. However, in 2017, this being the central act, and there is a state government to appoint form the authority and also regulate it. So most of the states have implemented, appointed and also engaged the regulatory authorities. Same so for the Karnataka also. Probably the authority is regulating to the best of their abilities. For your information, RERA has itself, this being the industry related regulator, RERA Act has an inbuilt mechanism in terms of the association formation also. Section 11(4)(e) of the RERA Act as make a mandatory for every promoter. Promoter means a builder and developer to enable the formation of an association once the 50% of the units are booked in the project. It is not the formation, we say enable the formation of an association. What do you mean by enabling the formation of an association has to be delved into. Just only calling the members, calling the buyers to come forward to form an association of allottees is the only thing, or he should register himself the association, because RERA is the act for the real estate projects. So when RERA says it's enable the formation of an association, and also it continue to say that society or a cooperative society or a federation as per the local law which is prevails. So for the state of Karnataka, specifically for the management and maintenance of the act, what we have is a Karnataka Apartment Ownership Act 1972. A very specific act for the purpose of management and maintenance of the act, and also the specific objective of the act is very clear: the heritable and transferable of the property by an individual user and the owner of it. So when we have a specific law related to the apartment management and maintenance, I don't think, as BAP doesn't look forward to go beyond any other act which is required. Probably this act require a new life to it, because it's a 1972, we are 2024, 50 years plus, lot of changes, a large projects have come into picture, lot of changes in terms of the way we manage it and the people who live in the apartment. We have to delve into how we can enlarge it, how we can make it better. And also this is the only act which empowers the committee or the management to create a charge for the dues of the residents or the owners of the act. Consider if you go before, any other act doesn't give the right to charge on the property of the owner for the dues. So these are all the very specific to the management and maintenance of the apartment. So we felt that this act is very apt for the Karnataka Apartment Ownership and Management Act. And also there are various other aspects to it in terms of what should be a good apartment law should have it. See, generally this law is should have many things: how to form it, how to register it, and how to hand over the assets from the promoter, which are the common assets, from the builder to the association, apart from the immovable property. As we know that various assets, movable assets as part of the apartment, those how do we hand over? Those things should also be built in as part of the apartment, a good apartment act. And also how do we manage it? Who can be the managers, who can be the management committee, what could be their qualification, what could be the composition of the committee also, and how to maintain it, how to collect the money, and what could be the composition of the expenses, and whom to report these activities of the association, because we know that many of the association office bearers do not report to the owners or the members of it association. So a good act should bring in these aspects also, and the governance issue of the apartment, responsibility and rights of the management committee as well as the owners of the apartment, and also liabilities. This is a very important aspect. The recent incidents in Karnataka, especially in Bangalore, one of the large project, a death of a girl for whatever be the reason, the management committee's president, vice president and couple of other representatives have arrested, and I think they are bail after 14 days. The reason is the management committee are on voluntary basis. I don't think any of the committee members demand for a remuneration or take a remuneration. They are all on an obligation basis and a voluntary basis. If there is no legal immunity, if there is no legal protection to these office bearers or committee members, it becomes difficult for any of us to represent or be a leader part of it. So we should look at what should be the liabilities and also a legal protection to the office bearers. And also this could be the part of your management and maintenance. What will happen after that also should be looked into. Like in case of a redevelopment of a project, I am sure that Maharashtra has a larger redevelopment of a project. There is a redevelopment act there. In Karnataka we do not have it. For your information, Tamil Nadu has come out with, in case of a redevelopment, what should be the consensus and what should be the confirmation they required for them to go for a redevelopment. So the good law relating to the apartment should also have the concept of redevelopment, and when and how the redevelopment should also happen, the minimum aspects of the redevelopment should be there, and also in terms of any compulsory acquisition of the part or the full project land should also be delved into that. A recent incidence of the, I think Metro has acquired some of the land related to the apartment, and also court has ordered to deposit the money with the court and you continue with your development activity. So how do we take this money, and who will be the owners and who will get the benefit of this money should also be part of the Good Apartment Ownership Act. Presently, many of the good governance, good aspects of the apartment which is developed over the period is missing in the Karnataka Apartment Ownership Act. It's not only with the Karnataka Apartment Ownership Act, most of the act, the good aspects and the practical aspects are missing at this point of time, and we hope and wish that those aspects also would be implemented by the government based on the input or the demand of the public at large. And as you know that most of the states are turning or maybe implementing the Apartment Ownership Act without looking into any other act for the sake. Like recent development of Tamil Nadu, West Bengal, Odisha, and also Maharashtra. Anyhow, they have a Maharashtra Apartment Ownership Act which is prevails. Even though they have a housing society model, even they also have a Maharashtra Apartment Ownership Act for the other than the society model. The way we have a UDS undivided share in the Karnataka or Bangalore, similarly they have a UDS concept. For them, what governs is the Maharashtra Apartment Ownership Act, but however that is fairly developed and fairly amended from time to time. So, in our opinion, the Bangalore Apartment Federation always feels that Apartment Ownership Act is apt for the management and maintenance of the apartments at all point of time. However, in terms of whatever is missing, whatever we can improvise on that, that should be represented to the government. In this background, BAF has met almost 15 MLAs in the last month before the assembly meeting, where we have given a representative to protect the apartment owners in terms of the management, maintenance, legal immunity, also their properties in a better way. So the same thing has brought in the assembly meeting, raised by Mr. Ravi Subramanya MLA, and also our deputy Chief Minister Sri Shiv Kumar ji has replied that yes, we are aware of it and we would be delving into that, and they say that new act would be implemented, whether it's a new act or existing act can be amended for a better implementation of it. So with this I am concluding my talk, and also a stand of the BAF which related to the management and maintenance of the apartment. Thank you very much.